Welcome back to Full Force Combat. We are proudly sponsored by Hez Boxing Equipment, and I'm delighted to be joined by the notoriously most known, hardest man in Wales, as I call him, Mr. Aaron Aby. How are we doing, Mucko?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Yeah, I'm brilliant, man. It was good to see you on Saturday, and we'll just dive straight into that. Aftab becoming the Elite Combat Championship amateur champion. So, what did you make of his performance as a whole, and how pleased was you with it?
I think it's his best performance to date. I thought, he was going in there against a good fighter, fighting for his first amateur title, but he's been working really hard after, like consistently, uh, since I've known him really in the gym. He just sometimes hasn't been able to perform on the night and show how good he is in his performances, but I felt like that got to come out on Saturday at the right time. He's had a tough camp, uh, been training hard, and I was happy to, for him to see him come out and put it into a performance where he showed how good he is and well rounded he is, and just being able to like show how hard he's been working for so long, and to win that amateur belt was really good for him and something he deserves.
Absolutely. Do you think that's the first of many now, and it's time for him to kick on?
Yeah, I feel like that will give him the confidence to kick on and start turning more good performances in, and hopefully chipping away at some more amateur belts. I feel like that could be a big stepping stone for him now.
Absolutely. What's the biggest pieces of advice that you give him, because you've been around the block numerous times now? So, what's the biggest piece of advice that you like to give him?
For after about like mostly with people, you'd say like they need to be consistent and disciplined to show up, and but he's always had that. For me, it's just been like not showing up on the night as well as he could have done. So my like he did that on Saturday, and my advice has always been to him is to be free in there
Mm,
and just let whatever's held him back on the night to go and just perform as he can do. So that's still my advice to him, and that's something I said to him before on the night. I just said, be free, let it go. Whatever's been holding you back, let it go, and let it all come out. And that's the same advice I would give to him now.
absolutely. He sees the opportunity. Now, your next opportunity is going to be a different city that you're fighting in, Dortmund, on the 5th of April. Mohammed Walid. How much are you looking forward to it?
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. I've experienced Octagon Germany before in the corner for Corey, but never as a competitor. And they always bring a great atmosphere. Obviously, all the Octagon shows do, but the one I was at in Germany was amazing. It was just like it being at a UFC. So I'm really looking forward to making my debut in Germany, and having that competition under that atmosphere with so many people there. I can't wait.
Absolutely. I was in Dusseldorf at the start of February, and just to echo what you said, it was like a UFC event. It was packed to
Yeah.
the rafters. It was nuts, man. They certainly bring the fire, the fans. How much do you know of Walid? Because he's making his Octagon debut, into. So, do you know much about him? Have you managed to study any footage or anything like that yet?
Yeah, I've had a look at him. Just because he fought Adamir before, who's fighting
Mm,
Sam Creasy for the belt. Uh, I've watched as you do, you'll have a look at two or three of their fights. But for me now, I'm in the stage where my career it's just about me and performing the best I can and working on things I need to do better and that I can bring to the table and just evolve in my game. And that's going to be the same case at this next fight.
absolutely. So, is the goal still the same for you, Aaron? Is it still for a run at the belt?
Yeah, I know, I understand that I'm far off that at the moment, coming off the back of a loss for the belt and then another loss to Zumagulov in the last fight. But I feel like I'm in this sport to be a champion. uh, and that hasn't changed. You know where I'm at now. I've just had to take another step back and reassess and keep plodding away at it. You know I'm not going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 more runs at this belt. But the thing is, with the flyweight division and where I sit in it, you're probably only two wins away from knocking on that door to be fighting for it again. So that's still the goal and the dream, uh, and and I've just got to keep chipping away at it. But for now, it's about getting back in that win column, having a good performance. Still enjoying every fight like it could be your last. Still
Yeah,
soaking up the experience of it all, and going and doing what I do every time, and that's giving it my all.
absolutely. Have you ever thought about moving up in weight, because that bantamweight division's quite wide open as well, or is that not something that's ever crossed your mind?
I could make bantamweight right now. Like it's never for me. At one point in my career, I was probably considering going to 52 than actually moving up to 61. It's been something I have been trying to improve on over the past few years. Is to get heavier, especially since like the chemotherapy and that. I was walking around. I think I got down to 49 kilogram. So I've just been like every year trying to put on a couple of key, trying to get bigger and do it healthy. So for me, just the bantamweights, like I train with Dean Garnett, who's one of the best bantamweights in the world, and just like the guy's different size to me. And I feel like it wouldn't be a smart move. Don't get me wrong, the odd fight, jumping in late notice or whatever, I'd do it.
Yeah.
I've fought a bantamweight before because of that reason, but I don't have to cut weight for it. I can literally like weigh in tomorrow and I'll be sound.
Well, at least that if there ever is a late opportunity or fought at bantamweight, then they know the man to call, because we've
Yeah.
seen you fight and you're willing to put it all on the line in the ring, just as you
Uh,
did with Zumagulov in the last fight.
Yeah.
How tough was that fighter? And because he is one hard bastard, isn't
Yeah, I knew it was going to be tough.
he? Absolutely, yeah.
Obviously experience. He's a UFC veteran, and like I feel like his record was better than it was in the UFC. There was like 3 split decision losses, which
Mm.
which could have argued gone his way. Uh, and at the start of the fight, he started well. I think he dropped me within the first minute of the fight, and then you're chasing the fight from there. But I did feel I was starting to get back into it. I was maybe starting to win the second round, and then he hit me again and dropped me. He hit hard. Like I've been hit by a lot of people, and like he didn't land too much shots, especially on the feet. And like my defense was quite good here. Like my face after it was fine, but the shots were hitting me like on the back
Yeah,
of
I
the ear,
remember.
around the side. Yeah, that's where all the scars were, and they're the ones that rock you and knock your equilibrium. So it was just about dealing with that and again overcoming that in the first round, and then start getting back into the fight, and then you get dropped again. But I'm out there for those challenges.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was a big stadium again. Uh, In Europe, it's like fighting on the UFC against UFC caliber opponents. It's what you want in this game.
Absolutely. Now, you've always seized opportunities, and Octagon have been providing them regularly for you since you've signed. Would your timeline fit for you to possibly put your name in the hat for a slot on the Eden card in June, the big stadium show?
Listen, yeah, 100%. I want to fight more than they're giving me at the moment. Like, I'm honestly, since that November fight, I've been trying to get out there as often as I can, and I understand it's not going to be like somewhere where you can fight every couple of months. But at the moment, I don't want to be fighting like every 6 months, because I know I'm at the end of my career, and 6 months could be 25, 50% of what's left of my career. So I want to be, after this March, April, May, June, please. Like the big, like that the Eden card would be perfect. The big card, the big show. So I would love to do that, and I do want to be competitive and get out like 4 times this year is my goal. Whether I can get 4 times, but I'm certainly going to ask for it. Like the Eden card, get me on a football stadium. I feel like Aaron Abbey should fight in a football stadium once as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now the promotion are absolutely taking over in Europe. Do you think they've established themselves as the top dogs now? Not just because they're putting bums on seats, but the quality of signings, i.e., Zumagulov and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think like I knew of Octagon before they were coming to the UK,
Yeah,
and I feel like they've only got bigger since that, and they're only doing better things every year. Like obviously the owners are really good people to work for, and you can just see that they love it. It's a hobby to them, but also like they're passionate about
mm,
being a successful business with it. And I feel like it's only gonna keep growing and establishing itself, especially in Europe. I think obviously what it's doing, and they had the attendance record last year, so, speaks volumes. And even for this card, I've probably got around 50 people going from Wales to watch the fight. And when my fight was announced, we were looking for tickets, and it was almost sold out already. They'd
wow,
only announced 4 fights. I feel like
wow.
wherever they go, that fan base is just going to follow them, no matter who's fighting on the card.
Absolutely. Now you just that's bringing me perfectly on to the Welsh fan base. Van Elliott had people that he didn't even know travelling over to New York for him last time. You've had people go all over for you. So what does the support mean to you, Aaron? Because it's unrivaled, isn't it?
Yeah, like I say this all the time, it does mean everything, and like I just feed off their energy, and having them there and support me is something I've always been passionate and cared about, and it also like fuels my performance. I know I'm going in there and I'm giving it everything I got for me and for them. I don't want to let anyone down and give them less than anything and everything that I've got. That's what I've spoke about before, saying like being prepared to die in there, and a lot of it is to do with what I represent, who I represent, and the people I represent.
We spoke to a lot of people regarding them returning to the UK island shores. You're championing that, aren't you? You would want to fight at home again before you call time on your career.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, Ireland's not home for me, but I'd still love to be on that card and be close to home as possible. And wherever they're looking to come in the UK, I want it to happen, and I want to be a big part of making it happen. So I feel like they do need to come here. They do need to like hopefully keep building something in the UK with the fighters they've got and everything. Whether they think Ireland's best or Liverpool's best, just being able to do that and just build that market over here again, and just make it successful, and give the UK fans as well something to look forward to. And I don't think it'll be like a four a year time, but if it's once a year, that's still good enough.
Absolutely. Like you said about being about a big part of something. You was a big part of Dakota Ditchifer's camp last year, and she's not in the World Tournament this year, apparently. So where do you see the direction for her career going now? Because the world's a fucking oyster in it at the minute.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I feel like I've said this before, probably on interviews with yourself, and like she's got the potential to go wherever she wants to go. She is that special, and that's partly due to just her attitude,
Yeah.
like her attitude to train, her attitude to get better, her attitude to make sacrifices when they need, fighting anyone, wanting to fight anyone. I feel like, she's completed the tournament. So it's like, right, what's next? Get her something bigger. Let's get her a tougher challenge, because that's the type of person she is. And I'm just excited to be on the journey with her and keep riding the roller coaster. And it can go wherever she decides.
Absolutely. Now, take bias out of it. Let's say that you're not in her corner. So, from a fan's perspective, do you think she can establish herself as the best women's fighter in the world over the next couple of years?
100%. I would. I know you're saying take the bias out of it, but I would actually say that if I didn't know her. I feel like the reason I definitely believe it is because I know her and I know how she trains and dedicates herself to it. So that gives me like some inside information. Training with people. I've been in this game a long time now. I've seen how the way people train, and I've seen how she trains, and she's in that top 1% of how people apply themselves to the sport. So I do think she'll be number one fighter in the world at some point soon.
Absolutely. Aaron, it's been a pleasure to chat. I'm sure camp will be ramping up to the higher intensity levels over the next few weeks. So good luck for April, and I'm sure I'll speak to you again before it.
No problem. Cheers for having me, mate. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Except that United top.
I knew you was going to have a. Do you know what? I was half thinking about wearing my Salford one as well, but I thought no, because then he'll be definitely pissed off about that one.
So no. All right. Cheers, Dan.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Take care, mate. See you, mate.